Welcome back. Each year here in the U.S., more than 20,000 young people age out of the foster care system without a permanent family support network. That's why many face significant barriers, like finding a permanent place to live, for example. Look at these statistics. They show nearly 1 in 5 will experience homelessness after leaving care. And that is why a group called Foster Success is working to close that gap.
Joining us now to explain is how the gap can be closed is Travis Tester with Foster Success. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Yes, this is important. So we know transitioning from that foster care support network to going out on your own, it's just tough in general for
Absolutely.
under normal circumstances. And we don't really think about it, that transition. We think about younger children when it comes. So what age, 18, they're usually trying to transition?
And they can do some things called voluntary services. And so it can be 21 when they're aging out or 23. But, you know, I think what you say is so important, that we think of young people. And what I often say to people is, this is the forgotten population. Mm-hmm. People forget that there are teenagers, young adults who may have been in care their whole lives, or maybe something, a circumstance changed and they ended up in care even at 14, 15, 16.
So they're going out on their own. They have to at some point. One of the ways that you're working to raise awareness about this and help them out and bring in the community at the same time is through an annual event. It's called Breaking Down Barriers.
Yes.
This year's is coming up on Thursday.
That's right.
So tell us about that, how it works.
Yeah, so Breaking Down Barriers was really created and curated by our young people. They helped us design this event, and it was to really help our community understand the barriers that they do face when they go out. If anyone has children who are, 18, 19, or 20, the texts and the phone calls do not stop. They might increase, actually, right?
I bet they
These
do.
young people don't have that ability. And so we created this event so that the young people could teach our community the barriers that we often take for granted, but that they face, and they lead the event itself. So they're actually teaching the guests these things.
I love that.
Taking
That's great.
ownership
Absolutely.
of it, and they're able to share directly the impact of this.
Absolutely.
So what is the most important need? What needs do you hear about with this event?
Absolutely. So the biggest needs that we are hearing is that basic need. So, you're seeing here, we put together hygiene kits. We have a hygiene pantry because that was a gap we saw in our community, is that everyone has the dignity to be able to be clean and feel safe and to be able to ask for those things, right? So we have these kits. So one of the activities will actually be that guests can create these kits, and they'll be able to write an encouragement card to go in it that we will then ship out to a young person in need.
So is that why, and when people go to this event, I heard that they will actually be participating in this.
Yes.
They'll put them together. Is that why you focus on hygiene kits and not something else opposed to like a food pantry or something like that?
Absolutely. So in this event, we're also combining as an open house because we just moved into new office space. And so this is going to help create that. And the reason why we do that is because food insecurity and food pantries, they exist in our community. We are partners with people like Gleaners Food Bank. We are good partners, and we refer young people to them. Why recreate something in our community that exists? But that's why we created this, because it didn't exist.
Yes, where do you go for
Exactly.
items
You
like
can't
this?
get these things at a food pantry.
Yes,
Right.
and our parents helped us when going to college to purchase all these things
exactly
and making sure
right.
we had all the needs. And so these people, these young people also need that kind of love.
That's right. And this event will have a component of this, but we'll also talk about some of the other financial and educational and workforce programming that we offer to our young people.
I love that you're working to fill this important gap. We've got all the information you need to know if you want to take part on Thursday. We've got it at WTHR.com/SeenOn13.
Thank you for being so passionate with your work.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Come back. Come back.
Always.
Sean.